I am Bonnie Annis, and I am a member of the board of directors of the Northumberland Central Chamber of Commerce. And today I'm here with Jack Boyagian of the Northumberland Players and Heather Jopling, star of the recent one-woman show Void What Void, which I saw and was fantastic. And it's not a spoiler to say she literally comes in skydiving to open the show. And it was a wonderful show. And I specifically requested you to be in this video today because I think that you're hella well spoken, and I really want to hear your thoughts on some of the economic aspects of it and putting on a one woman show. First, though, I'd like to give a little introduction to Jack, who has been involved with the Northumberland Players for more than 20 years. Before that, you may recognize him if you are from the Brighton area as your high school English teacher. Jack has been involved as the president and artistic director of Northumberland Players for about 12 years now. And Jack, I'd like to ask you the question because when we think about theater, I don't think that business is the first thing that comes to mind. So, my question to you is um, how do you feel that the Northumberland Central Chamber of Commerce supports your work in community theater? What does it bring to you, and why did you want to be a member?
Well, it probably started with the fact that we had so many of our members that went on trips with the commerce, and in order to do that, you had to have a connection with the commerce. So that's maybe more the practical reason,
Okay,
and because our members love traveling with the commerce, who provides that little, perk. Um, but really, it's about networking, and it's about having the same goals in the area. We are a not-for-profit, but at the same time, we have we have to think as a business, and those connections help us with the business. We have probably somewhere around 25 to 30 small businesses that support us
wonderful.
every year financially, and then probably another 70 or 80 businesses that let us put our posters up
True.
on the windows and things like that, and give me a coffee when I come in and chat
Nice.
about the season and
So
things like that.
perhaps you're a little bit of a local celebrity then. Do you get
And
recognized on the street?
I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm a big fish in a small pond, perhaps. Yeah.
It's a good community to be able to walk down the street and recognize some of the people you see on stage. Do you get that, Heather?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
fantastic.
But I also say, a moderate sized fish in a smaller pond, that I I started doing that, like recognizing people I knew. I recognize somebody I know every day when I'm downtown, every single day.
Yeah, I'm a
Whether or not you're involved in the theater or not, I think that's the charm of Northumberland County.
Yes, absolutely. So now I'd like to talk about you. We're okay with that, right? We can
Okay.
do that. Speaking of talking about you, you just wrapped up a brilliant one woman show, your fifth one woman show called Void What Void. And as a woman in kind of a similar age group to you, I found it incredibly relatable as a parent, as someone who is changing my life to a life after having kids at home, which is probably why I'm volunteering for the Chamber of Commerce because I'm doing other things now other than just parenting.
Yeah.
Um, you did how many shows?
I did 6 shows.
And they were predominantly sold out. Maybe there was a
Yeah,
spare ticket here and there.
I think if I was doing my math correct, I think we were about 93% sold out, which
That's
was
amazing.
great. Yeah.
Knowing your numbers, like Jack says, it's a business. You have to look at it that way. So I'd like to ask you the question, Heather, what do you see as the potential economic impact on community theater and specifically your one woman show, having just finished it? What did you see? What did you notice about the impact on having people come downtown to attend your show?
Well, I personally really want to support the local businesses, and we had many local business owners come see the show, which is really gratifying. And they, in turn, as business owners, well-known business owners, would would do social media posts about the show. So the reach, the breadth and reach of community businesses within Coburg and Northumberland County at large is huge, cannot be understated. They bring people in. So if, it's like in my show, I talk about, kind of like you tell two people, they tell two people, and so on and so on and so on. And that's, I think, what happened very much in the case of this show, that word of mouth and word of mouth, particularly by business owners, was incredibly helpful to drive traffic to the show.
And speaking of traffic, there was traffic to restaurants, there was traffic to our nightlife here. And for those that don't know, there's actually quite a lot going on down here. There's some good cocktails to be had, there's some good dinners to be had. And it's lovely to have a reason to go out, and you don't have to go to Toronto.
You don't have to go to Toronto for that. And I do believe that generally the shows that we do at the Fire Hall are a bit more challenging in terms of their scope and breadth. I certainly said some bad words during the show,
Love
but but we also start the show earlier. We start the
Right.
show at 7:30. The show lasted an hour. The show was done at 9 o'clock. So when local businesses stay open, when we have a show going on, when local businesses stay open to support the crowds that come in, it's only going to help the local business as well when people come for cocktails or after theater treats, that sort of thing.
I'm seeing a real theme of connection with all the businesses, whether you're an entertainment venue or a mortgage agent.
Mhm.
There's a real reason that we need to stay connected. So I'm very grateful that you guys came in to do this today, because I know you're really busy. You have an opening night tonight of what show?
We're doing Glorious at the Best Western.
And I understand that the topic of that show is a very bad singer.
Yeah, it's based on the true story of Florence Foster Jenkins. There was a movie as well with Meryl Streep in it. And yeah, she became very famous with this absolutely horrible voice. And she was also community connected, I guess, and that's who came to see her. She was a powerhouse of a woman, and she uh, follow her dreams no matter what.
Oh,
And
I
no
love
matter
that
what you
lesson.
said to her, it didn't matter because her passion was what drove her. And she definitely took a lot of criticism, but it didn't stop her. And she eventually sang in Carnegie Hall. So that's
That's
pretty
amazing.
amazing. Yeah.
I love that you can bring a story like that to our community. We do have a really vibrant community theater community out here. I'd like to ask you something fun though, that maybe could be revealing for those that know you as a serious artistic director. And I'd like to ask you if you could play any role, and this you'd be easy to ask this question to, which is why I'm not asking you this. If you could play any role in any theater production anywhere at any time, who would it be, and what unique aspect of it would you bring?
Well, we've talked about this a little bit, and it might surprise you because my favorite role was probably, and Heather was in that show, was in Rocky Horror Picture
Oh,
Show, and I was Riff Raff in that show. So I'm not going to say that's a role I'd love to play because I already played it. It was so much fun. I've always wanted to play Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof.
okay.
I just love that whole sort of concept of the struggle between traditions and your own
And modern.
sort of struggles with the modern
Mm-hmm.
world. Definitely as a dad, I, I found that difficult raising a girl and who's now a young woman. And I love the music. I think it would let me be about as passionate as I could be on stage. And I've always wanted to do that role, but it doesn't seem that not too many people are doing that, including us. So uh,
It's
it
very difficult to
it's
do a very Jewish story with
yes, it
non-Jewish
is.
community.
I'm not Jewish. I'm Armenian, but that whole traditional stuff is what I was struggling with my parents as well,
Right,
as
family
they
origin.
immigrated to this country, and so it's sort of dear to me.
I love
That
that.
whole struggle of sort of a poor family trying to connect with Canada, and that's what my parents did. So it's kind of an emotionally connection to that.
I like that idea. And I think that you are very, I mean, I think that being a nonprofit is first off a lot of hard work. The chamber is also a nonprofit, and I think that the commitment it takes. My family is in community theater as well. I think the commitment it takes to get on stage, to go from first rehearsal all the way to opening night takes a lot, and you have to love it. You have to. And I want to say to both of you, thank you so much for coming in on a day that I know you're super busy and talking a little bit about what you do and a little bit about the chamber. And the chamber thanks you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
It's
Thank
a
you.
pleasure. Thanks a lot.